Baby, it's quiet as a library in the rainforest when I say ain't nobody in here.
Hey, Walmart. Let's help your president make up the money that you ain't gonna be making on this Black Friday.
Welcome to my series where Trump supporters find out that their actions, shockingly, have consequences. Now I'm going to get to all the post-Thanksgiving family drama. But first, it's Black Friday, and it looks like Walmart is effing around and finding out in real time. Walmart, along with some other major companies who donated to Donald's campaign, rushed to announce that they were revoking their diversity, equity, and inclusion.
As part of the new rollback, the world's largest retailer says it will no longer give priority treatment to suppliers owned by minorities and women. It will also scale back racial equity training and review its support for things like Pride Month and other events.
And some genius at corporate thought, let's make that announcement right before Black Friday, which is the day these major companies start making their profit for the year because it accounts for a huge part of their yearly revenue. Well, in response to Walmart not listening to the people who are actually purchasing their products, consumers are not showing up and posting empty stores all across the internet. So I guess all that money Walmart donated to Donald Trump was not appreciated by the people who are actually paying for the products that they're selling.
So it's looking like Walmart is having a really rough day, as they should. They didn't hesitate to show us who they were the first chance they got. Before the orange man even took office, they let us know that we were not welcome there. Oh, they will sure take our money, but they don't want us involved in a hiring process. They don't really want us employed there. If they don't want us employed there and they don't want to give us equity, then we don't want to give them our money. They must have thought that Trump was the one shopping at their stores. Did all of this for a man who would never step foot in your store. You forgot we don't want to pay the bills. We're the customers. We keep the doors open. But since you don't want diversity and inclusion in your stores, we will spend our money elsewhere. And I don't even give a shit if they backslide at this point. It's too late. They showed us who they are. No black inclusion, no motherfucking black dollars. Period.
This has been an ugly week for Republicans on several fronts. To start off, after making threats to both Mexico and Canada regarding tariffs, Trump did not expect leaders from both countries to stand up to his threat by responding with potential tariffs of their own, a move that has left the incoming president absolutely humiliated on the world stage. Then you have Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. You remember Zuckerberg, the one who hightailed it to Mar-a-Lago to kiss Trump's ring? Well, both he and Musk are furious about millions of people leaving X and Meta to set up shop over at Blue Sky Social. And now all the MAGA cultists on Twitter are getting super weird about losing their personal punching bags. I mean, weirder than usual, which is really saying something. They've been trying to infiltrate Blue Sky, setting up meme pages, troll pages, just trying to be nasty and rude. Aw, looks like someone misses their unchecked bullying over on Twitter. They're literally obsessed with us. Now, this holiday season was fraught with a whole new level of tension, with this Reddit poster asking, am I the a-hole for kicking out my conservative family during Thanksgiving before anyone ate? So I, 34 female, decided to host Thanksgiving this year for my family. It was my first time hosting, and I was really excited about it. I spent days prepping everything, turkey, stuffing, sides, pies, you name it. Honestly, I was pretty proud of myself because I wanted to make it special. My family is mostly conservative and I'm more liberal, so there's always been some tension. But I figured it wouldn't be a big deal for just one day. When everyone started showing up, things were fine for about 15 minutes. Then my uncle made this comment about how woke people probably think Thanksgiving is offensive or something dumb like that. I rolled my eyes but didn't say anything. Then my cousin chimed in with a snarky comment back at them, and suddenly it turned into this big thing about politics. I tried a couple times to change the subject, like bringing up the food or asking about family stuff, but no one really listened. It was just so frustrating my uncle and cousin started arguing louder, and I felt like the whole mood was ruined. My uncle even made a joke about how I probably hate Thanksgiving too because of my liberal ideas or whatever. I wasn't even involved in the conversation, but I could feel the digs were aimed at me. I finally snapped and told them to stop talking about politics or they could leave. My uncle laughed and said something like, "Oh, the Thanksgiving police are here." A couple people chuckled and I just lost it. I told everyone that if they couldn't respect me in my house, they needed to leave. Some people just tried to calm me down, but I was so mad at this point, I just wanted them all gone. So I grabbed people's coats and started handing them out. Even the family members who weren't involved had to leave because I didn't want to deal with the awkwardness of some staying behind. I thought maybe I'd feel better once they left, but now I just feel kind of empty sitting here with a fridge full of food I spent all week making. My mom called me later and said I completely overreacted and ruined the holiday for everyone. She said I should have just ignored the comments instead of making it a bigger deal. Honestly, I didn't think I did anything wrong at the time, but now I'm wondering if I went too far. So am I the a-hole for kicking everyone out before we even got to eat? I think that this person handled this beautifully. Why they'd want to break bread with their MAGA family anyway is beyond me, but no one deserves to be disrespected in their own home, especially when they're putting up all of the effort to host and spend all that time preparing for the holiday. And all the family that were silently chuckling 100% gets to go as well, because they were agreeing with how the uncle was treating her. And the people who didn't even bother to speak up to make them stop were being compliant as well. Silence is compliance. I hope that it's clear to everyone that these people are bullies, and it's because they're miserable. You don't vote against people's rights because you're a happy person. Personally, I'm tired of people saying that liberals need to be the bigger person and show care and kindness to these people who couldn't even think of how to return the favor. We've been playing nice for years with these people, and look where it's gotten us. And if one good thing has come of this, it's great that so many people are starting to realize this and pulling the empathy, their kindness, care, and money from the MAGA voters in their life. Keep it up, folks.
See how my uncle who voted for Trump isn't at the Thanksgiving dinner table? Very around. Very find out.
And in this segment of Tokens Always Get Spent, new mother, Republican Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna from Florida, has been facing rejection from her own party on a rule that would be implemented in the House of Representatives that would allow new mothers to vote with a proxy. That means that instead of them having to physically come into Congress to cast their votes, they could have someone else vote for them. But many Republicans in her own party are arguing against proxy voting, saying it's unconstitutional, even though it's been used in the past before with no problems. Let's give a round of applause for the Pro-Family Party of America, folks. And speaking of tokens, Candace Owens has been banned from entering New Zealand. Authorities banned Candace from entering the country after she was also recently banned from Australia. New Zealand is following suit from Australia, who banned Candace in October, citing the only reason as her political views. If only America could do the same with conspiracy theorists who promote anti-Semitism. She's been scheduled to give several speaking engagements in New Zealand, similar to Australia, and now she's been banned from entering both countries. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I'll be waiting with popcorn and bated breath to see who bans her next.
This specific person that I'm going to be referring to lives in Oklahoma. So it's been about 2 weeks since the election, and this person reached out to me this morning, and they said, hey, I have a question. You used to sit in IEP meetings and you have experience with IEPs from your time in the classroom, right? And I said, yeah. So this person continues to tell me that they just got out of their son's IEP meeting. Now their son's supposed to receive services next year. He's going into second grade. They go, is it really something that they can do? Like they can deny my son's services? They're saying that they might not have services next year. If you've been following anything in the media lately, you are going to get there before I get there. And I said, well, legally, no. If your son has services in writing, an IEP is a legal document and it protects your son's rights. So no, it's not legal. However, if they don't provide the services and we get rid of said department that pushes those services, you no longer have the obligation, or the school no longer has the obligation to provide those services because they no longer have the department that provides them. And they continue to say, well, I don't understand how they can do that. Like he's supposed to receive services. They're saying they might not even have a department next year. And then they're also saying that they spent a ton of money on new literature for next year. That caught my attention. So I said, well, what literature? I know what literature, but I want to know what they have to say. And then they say, well, some sort of literature for like Western civilization courses. And you mean the Bibles that Oklahoma just sent to all of their schools, that schools are going to receive money for if they actually implement them? That literature? I just sat there like jaw on the floor. I could not believe that I was actually experiencing this in real life. Like I've seen plenty of like F around and find out moments that people are having now that they are actually seeing what's going to be happening now that Trump has been voted in. And I didn't think I'd actually experienced one firsthand. Like I have to say, it's a bittersweet feeling because to see the ignorance of somebody like suffer the consequences of their said actions, that student is still going to suffer because the services that they need are not going to be available to them next year. Because why were people so like floored that when Trump said he was going to defund the Department of Education, which by the way, this woman is probably going to run. If you don't recognize her, turn on the wrestling channel. Apparently she's associated with that. I just want to be alive for the day that we actually put somebody in this position that knows what the F they're doing. This is how teachers feel when we assign an open book test and you still get students that fail. People had months, years even, with this man to study for the test. The test is voting day. How are you going to have years of time to have an open book test and still fail the test? How? How are people floored that Obamacare is the same thing as the Affordable Care Act? Why are people astonished that grocery prices are actually going to go up, and they already are starting to, before if they even go down? How are people like mind blown when they're reading articles about deportation happening to people that they actually love and care about in their lives? The privilege to not care and not do proper research and not figure out what the heck is going on in your own country is really about to bite some people.
All we have to offer them are our concepts of condolences. Shop my line below. In this Reddit thread, this poster says, I voted for Trump. My wife sent me divorce papers. What do I do? This is hilarious. Check it. I didn't even know it was possible to be served divorce papers this quickly. I don't even know what to say. I'm shocked I married somebody willing to throw away our entire life over politics. Last week we were happy. Today we're getting divorced. She won't have a discussion. She says nothing will change her mind. Insists she is going to report my parents because they live off of disability, but my dad does some cash work auto repair, so now I'm worried for my whole family. She wants me to buy her out of the house. We have $300K in it, plus a 4-bay garage since we bought it 3 years ago. I can't afford that. When I told her this, as she was packing her things, she said, I guess you're finally going to really know how it feels to be effed by a Democrat. FYI, her name is on the deed, but not the mortgage. I'm not confident that I can reason with her. What do I do? Where do I start? How do I fix this? Is anybody else experiencing this in the wake of the election results? Lol, sounds to me like she's had those papers ready to go for a long time, friend. I'm sure that maybe you were happy in your relationship, but she obviously wasn't. But unlike your concern for women's rights, maybe you can find it in your heart to fill out an application and possibly get a loan to buy her out. Thank you all for watching. Please like, subscribe, and leave me a comment below. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you can be notified whenever I publish a new video.
Jesus didn't say, love thy neighbor unless they're gay.
No, but the Bible does say that it is an abomination for a man to lie with another man.
Not Adam and Steve.
Shut up, Joe. Leah and I have already talked about your search history. We all know that you love lesbians.
Whoa, wait.